and welcome. For those of you that are new to my channel, I am Wendy Blum and I share videos on entrepreneurship, mindset, and personal growth. And in today's video, I'm going to share 7 insights I got from one of the greatest influences of my life, the author of Eat, Pray, Love, and Big Magic, and several other books that I had the opportunity to meet and hear speak this week, Elizabeth Gilbert. So insight number 1 is to share a story. She's such a dynamic, powerful speaker, but she spoke often about all the other influences in her life. She mentioned Martha Beck, and she talked about how Martha, who had 3 degrees from Ivy League schools, who was interviewing CEOs and big time leaders, and would ask them, what was their secret sauce? What was their secret sauce? And she would get the typical answers, all the leadership characteristics or focus or being surrounded by the right people. And she kept saying, nope, that's not it. There's something else. And then finally, one by one, they would ask Martha to turn off the recorder. And then they would say really softly, it's mysticism. I would get a message or some stroke of insight that just led the way. Some sort of intuition or intuitive hit would come. And so she shared that story when she was giving her message about mysticism, sharing a story instead of telling her own experience about mysticism. Insight number 2 is to poke fun at yourself. She started off by sharing a story that she was in her 20s and she had these 5 jobs. Elizabeth was a waitress, she was a dog walker, she had all these jobs. And yet she proclaimed that she wanted to be a writer. So she had a mentor who she would share, like she just didn't have any time. She just didn't have any time to write. And then her mentor called her on her own BS and said, really? Well, I think I saw you with your friends Sunday having brunch, and I think I saw you walking down the street the other day and you were going shopping, and called her on her own BS. And when she was sharing the story, she was making the point about prioritizing. So you got that point by hearing her story and her making fun and poking fun at herself. Insight number 3 is set boundaries. Now we've heard this before, but she shared in a little bit of a different way. And she talked about, well, come on, everybody talks about Facebook these days, right? Getting distracted. But that we say yes to everyone else, but to say no is to say yes to our own dreams, and that we don't have to care about everything. We don't have to respond to everyone. It's like the whole audience took a deep sigh, like finally we have permission that we don't have to respond to everyone else's needs. Insight number 4 is, yes, everyone has a lot to do. Everybody's got a lot on their plate, but while you're doing it, to relax somewhere in your day, somewhere in your travel, somewhere in all that you got that you're doing, to add relaxation in there and to just chill. That was another sigh. That was another sigh in the audience. Thank you very much for permission. Sometimes we need permission from other people as a reminder. Insight number 5. When you're really deep in the thick of things, where do you go? So Elizabeth Gilbert actually writes a letter, and she starts the letter, Dear Love, what am I going to do with this really difficult situation? And then she writes back as if she's the other entity, love, responding. And sometimes love says, I don't know what to advise you to do, but I want you to know that I'm here. I want you to know that I'm here. And the idea around everything is going to be okay, and that part of you that says it back to you, it can be really freeing. It can really offer the comfort that we need during those times. Insight number 6. Someone came up during the Q&A and they said, how do you collect your thoughts so that you can write or you can speak when they're all over the place? And Elizabeth said that she writes her books by writing to one person. She actually puts the person's name in the manuscript when she's starting, dear, and then she adds the name, and she writes the entire book as if she's writing it to one person. And then at the very end, she deletes that section, dear so-and-so. So I thought that that was just, I had never heard that before. Just brilliant insight. And then lastly, insight number 7 is to always speak your truth. Even if the other person doesn't like it, to speak your truth. And a caveat that she added to that is some people aren't going to like you. Some people actually are going to hate you, and to love them enough that it's okay that they hate you. Those were my 7 big takeaways and insight from meeting Elizabeth Gilbert and hearing her speak. Thank you for being here. If any of those insights resonated with you, I invite you to leave a comment below. You can subscribe with the red button and hit the notification bell. I upload new videos each and every week.